Така... Музиката спираме. И... да го продължаваме този Thronebreaker. Упс. Hello. Ще го някой да напише дали се чувам, дали ехтя, защото стаята малко ехти и някакви такива неща. Според OBS-а микрофона работи, така че би трябвало да се чувам. Въпросът е защо нямаме камера? Ау, чувам се. Невероятно. Прекрасно. Упс. Това най-вероятно го чухте. Добре де, явно ще сме без камера. Ще да затворим някои ненужни неща. Ето сега трябва да се чува. Предполагам, не. Чува ли се сега? Може да я усилим. Сега се чува. Добре. Супер. Така. Продължаваме. Сега ще чува? Не. Последно. Или да не я усилвам. Много интересно обяс, защо не разпозна камерата. Така... Тук бяхме някъде... Не усилвай. Добре, разбрахме се. Тук бяхме някъде близо до края, дам. Така че... Да, вече живи и здрави ще го завършим този чаптър. Няма да скаутнем. Може да поизпуснали някакви неща, ама... Ето тук няма да се връщам. Продължаваме напред. Упс. Само да... Се е заключва често, че на него си гледам чата. Eliminate all falls. Си биеме с някакъв камерен елементал. Това е този файт. Това накрая на предния стрим бях измислил как ще стане. Сега нямам никакъв спомен. Повече са. Ако има 3 или повече този камък, става лесър дао. Това като го убием спомват 2. Супер. Значи... Сетваме този чат. Тия пичове. Бия се с Дао. Дао е такъв каменен човек, Но номерът е, че от тези малките камъни става малко дао, а като умрат две малки даота става голямо дао. И трябва да убие голямото дао. В момента бие един камък, буквално. Така... правиш? Give a charge to units with vintage order. Те могат да дестройват тия пичове и да правят демидж с тях. Това е интересно. Unit to the right. Окей. И да бустват този човек също така. Окей. Стана два камъка. Така. Два камъка. Упс. Така ще стане малко дао. Така. Като умре това малко дао, се появят две малки даота. При три малки даота ли става голямо дао или при две малки даота? Стой, дивни to the right.
One man's battlefield is another man's ripe patch for harvest.
Окей, тук са две малки даота. Ще стане голямо. Тия дори да ги бях играл тук. 7 ще жива съм.
Company, forward march!
Тия кога се появят? Появят се, докато не се появи големият, ето дето сега се беше появил, който е 9 power и след това хода убива всички юнити. И трябва да го убием преди той да убие всички юнити наши. Обаче нещо го прецакахме. Аз съм почти сигурен, че си играе първи. Я видим тия. Споят две. Малките далата колко бяха? Той да стреля тия двата камъка. Така, стават едно малко дало. Спомвам тия пичове. така не, един ход не ми стига. Сега ще умра. Също може да си изиграе името, който не прави нищо. Добре. Играем го това човек.
Abolish to your command.
Can't take it anymore.
Use it. Her Majesty is exceptional. If the ring won't come off, just take the whole finger.
Това не беше the ultimate начин, но стана, така че. Всичко точно. Бихме далото. Дао. Айде. Добри хора в чата, с какво се занимавате? Разкажете нещо, докато аз безцелно се мотая. Ще ми предложиш ли нещо? Your Grace, in the cottage lives a herbalist whom the local people hold in high regard. Her potions and herbs have healed many wounds, saved many lives. Sure. Димитрий Бомб. Nice. Lady, the host resident peasant named Bogan has worked for you. In the orchard. Sure. Пейки брадва. Добре. establishment. Някакви хора, които се карат.
As Meyve and company traversed the ruddy meadows, strident voices reached their ears.
I beg your pardon. I've heard enough. A duel. I challenge you to a duel.
A duel? Nonsense. I'd sooner lay you across my lap and give your arse a thorough flailing, you scoundrel.
The Queen approached the arguing parties. Two nobles, Lords Cartwright and Mansfield. Quickly she ascertained they were up in arms over ownership of an orchard lying between their estates. Assisting both nobles, their kinsmen, armed to the teeth, prepared to leap at each other and crush heads. Upon spotting Meyve, the lords lowered their voices, bowed and presented themselves. Yet they could not keep their ire fettered long, and were soon casting aspersions again.
Your Grace, Mansfield has seized it. No, stolen my land. Land that has been in my family for generations.
It is my recompense for your reckless deeds. To burn down me mill in Furchin for a bit of sawdust in your flour? Well, I never.
A bit. Oh, let me at him. Farmhands taken ill, cooks feverish, all from that manure. You are a fraud, sir. A fraud and a thief.
Though she faced the not at all trifling matter of the Nilfgaardian invasion, Meyve agreed to settle the dispute. Reynard, who knew the history of every Lyrian and Rivian family 7 generations back, served as her advisor.
No doubt I would find for the Cartwrights. They are in the right here as regards the title to the land. Yet your Grace must consider the Mansfields have ever served the crown and never delayed payment of tribute, whereas the Cartwrights are litigious charlatans who owe the royal treasury thousands, many thousands.
Many thousands. Правя корабийки. Правиш корабийки? Какви корабийки правиш, Васко? Каква е рецептата? Сигурен съм, че в чата може би има някой, който ще е заинтересован. Let Cartwright, Grand Mansfield. Already urgent to be divided.
From what I've gathered, you've both burdens on your conscience.
Said the Queen.
And I've neither the time nor the inclination to ascertain who started this feud. You will split the orchard in 2. Make do with half a piece.
But my queen...
Should my judgment displease you, Mansfield, I can always incorporate the land into the crown.
The Queen's threat silenced the feuding lords, yet it failed to bring their conflict to a close. In a few years' time, they were at one another's throats yet again.
Got the car.
You bloated ass bladder. We'd have managed it ourselves, I told you. But no. Judgment. You had to have judgment. You demanded it.
Тук е заровно на съкровището. Май, някъде. Ето. Yes, бе. Корабийки са весени ядки. Това би трябвало да е яко. Е малко късно за правене на корабийки, Васко. Не е ли време за ядене на корабийки? Гледай сега откъде ще пити да мине шматка. Не, до там не може. Не мога да си говоря с този човек.
Lady, something's wrong at Abbott's Ravine. I heard whinnies and screams at first. How all's gone silent.
Gone silent? Какъв ни морала? Неутрален, ще се помолим тук. Оп. А така. момчета трябва да са в добро настроение. О, снап. Какво си ти? Някакъв... Кока трисля това? Уивър ли е? Какво е това? Някакъв рецепт много лесно. Напиши я според мен пък. Някой може да се препише после. Уивър не е това. Окей. Уивър с рога. Такива да уивър. Ако няма крави, губим. Е много хубаво. Какво прави уивърна? Всеки 2 хода изяжда рандъм крава. Здравей, Марина. Те... Понеже през цялото време работят и гледат само работата си, не забелязват такива неща като уивърни. В смисъл... Кой го интересуват уивърни? Няма време за такива неща, трябва да се работи. Consume a random cow. Много хубаво. Power. Явно не им трябва така. Значи, интересното е, не знам дали забеляза преди да се сбие с уивърна, той ядеше овца, но сега има крави около него. Мале изяде кравата. О, шит, се бусна на всичкото отгоре. Много хубаво, братле, много хубаво.
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
Like a wolf, I am. Издължа на кравата пак. Що изяде голямата крава, е? Разнообразна диета. Да, много полезна също така.
Discipline shall bring us victory.
Са 12. Значи 3 крави паднаха в боя, но беше за добро. Оттрепахме уивърна. Few remedies exist for a man who has lost his youthful vigor. The recommended solution is a simple mixture of raw dragon egg, a sprinkle of sugar, and a splash of pepper vodka. Should no dragon eggs be readily available, instead boil the liver of a cockatrice after first massaging in a blend of Zericanian spices. Разбрахте ли, ако сте загубили... Какво беше? Youthful vigor. If you know what I mean. If you know what they mean, actually. Не аз. Ето е, Марина, виж, видя ли са го тия двамата? Тия двамата са го видяли. Worm did I say? Какво случи тук в Кридъм?
The Nilfgaardian invasion necessitated certain steps. Mийv had dispatched scrolls to her garrison commanders, based upon which they were to announce general musters. She'd hoped that by the time she reached Krydam, fresh recruits would be waiting to join her growing force. Alas, The commander of this fort, one Sergeant Griggs, had only bad news.
Your Majesty, I've not the numbers to man the walls even. The call to arms brings few new recruits and more men desert each day. Folk are terrified something awful. They don't believe in victory.
Кофти. Make a speech.
They don't believe in victory?
The Queen rose from behind the table, toppling her chair.
Then let them hear how I smashed the Blackclads at Dravograd.
Quick as can be, the commander gathered all Crydam's inhabitants in the central square. Meyv stepped out in front of the crowd and recounted her most recent victory. The folk of Crydam listened with bated breath.
And so, we must stand together. Fight, arm in arm. Be a wall against which black-clad hordes will be dashed.
The townsfolk responded with thunderous applause, yet enthusiasm is rarely long-lived. That born of Meyv's fiery words had dispersed after but a few days. No new volunteers joined the garrison, and the townsfolk hid from Sergeant Griggs to avoid being pressed into service.
Това не сработи. Между другото, имайки предвид, че идеята беше да играем зла, но справедлива Мийв, тук трябваше да избера Press into Service. Ама забравих. Не мога вляза при тия. Това ли беше картата? Какво е картата? Ето картата. Къде съм? Буквално в обратната посока се движи. Добре. Запад. Три увесени ядки. Това рецептата за една корабийка ли е, Васко?
Why ever do the gods punish us so? To be cast out by Nilfgaard, and now to face beasts.
Not to face beasts. Коравийките. Коравийки с увесени ядки. Стария Айк. От къде беше там? Забравих.
On their way to the capital, Meyv and company happened one fine day upon a lone rider. Had I been at her side, I would immediately have recognized his passionate gaze and altogether chivalrous mien.
Chivalrous mien.
Identify yourself, sir, and your intent.
Ache of Denel I am,
Of Denel.
and my design I never conceal. The good book says the world is a garden which the gods once conferred upon man, and we men have this garden neglected. In consequence, all manner of filth has made its lair here. Drowners, ghouls, and other kobolds. I have sworn ne'er to rest until the day when, with the gods' help, I have rid the world of these beasts and pests. I wander all lands, seeking out evil and facing it in mortal combat.
Who do we spy? A knight errant?
Just as likely a madman. How goes your hunt? Caught the trail of any monster?
Дори Миляна спомена. Какво? Как така дори Милена спомена, Марина? Нещо не разбрах.
Monster? Too fair a term by far. An exceptionally vile worm has made its lair in nearby caverns. It is said to be the very distillation of filth. A slither in horror. A mélange of the macabre.
Kobold Вярно, да.
Its
Вярно,
head
че Милена
as of a
в
wild
кампанията
cat
е
of Ophir.
кобалт.
It's more full of spiked teeth. The wings of a bat it is said to have. The tail of a scorpion, and from it a thick venom drips. Learned men call this variety a manticore or mardiacore.
Съм сигурен, че уивърн и мантикор не е едно и също.
Perhaps it will be most prudent then to send for a witcher.
Who am I to judge?
A witcher? Soulless automatons they are, all, feeding on common folks' fears. What they demand gold to do, I perform without demand of any coin.
Какво игрите на Немезида, Васко?
Sir, far be it from me to discourage you. Your endeavor is noble, no doubt. But from what I have heard, manticores are exceedingly dangerous beasts.
To defeat this filth alone could be a difficult task, I'll not deny. Yet try it I must, for it is what I have sworn before the gods.
We shall help you find and fight the manticore, provided you then pledge to help us fight an even fiercer and filthier beast.
Между другото, тоя пичага Айк
Of course, my lady.
го има в
Yet
книгите за
what manner
вещера.
of horror is it? A
Мисля, че
viper?
в
A griffin?
първата?
A drake of some rare form?
Васко, в първата ли беше, дето е отделни разкази? Книга 5 от експанзия. Какви са тия поредици, които никога не съм чувал, дето четеш? Айк в книгите за вещера преследва един дракон и иска да го убие. Не спомням как се казваше дракона. Нещо сложно беше. И иска да го убие и чаржва дракона едно в едно. Нали, на коня си такъв яхнал и с копието напред. И чаржва дракона и дракона просто се обръща и му удря една опашка и го потрушава целия, за малко не го убива.
Were it only. 'Tis a beast of 1,000 heads, covered in black armor, its fire consuming whole villages.
Noble lady, I know bestiaries is only in parts, yet I've seen some of the world, and never have I heard of such a terror.
You need but look about you and spot Nilfgaard's legions.
Devastating. But you must forgive me, Your Grace. This struggle between realms is not one to which I can lay a hand.
Доста лаконичен, това беше доста лаконично, да. Във втората книга това е историята. Да, трите врани, да, той дракона като е човек се нарича трите врани, ама във втората ли беше това? Може и във втората да е било. Се тая. Ейк чарджва един дракон, трите врани. Едно в едно, нали, дракона кежуали му таковата.
A manticore. How great is its appetite? How many men does it fell in a moon, let us say?
It changes. At a time when the horror broods, it may be as many as 20.
I see. As now you must. Nilfgaard in my capital could mean as many as 20,000 felled. You live to fight evil, injustice, do you not? You can fight none greater than by doing so at my side.
The manticore, Your Grace, must fall first. As to what happens later, I shall need to consult the good book and petition the gods.
Това е трите врани. Тук на картата е нарисуван как го преследва.
Agreed, so be it. This monster, where lies its lair? Where does it prowl?
Не, Васко, не знам експанзия. Излизалите през последните няколко години фентезите и научна фантастика успяват винаги да ми избегнат вниманието. В смисъл, не ги следя и не знам какво е излизало. Разместих си без това малко кьопавия сетъп. Набрай се. Така.
To the north, my queen.
Прекалено много книги почнаха да излизат, не мога да следя всичко. Правят сериал по книгите. Еми... Добре, значи може би са добри книгите. Така че, не е задължително. Ето тук ще дойдем първо и после ходим да бием мантикората. Мантикората е доста як файт. Ох. Пак. Сетъпът е малко особен тази вечер. За стрима. Микрофона ми се мотае из ръцете.
Not a scrap. Nothing to bury. Blood's all that's left behind.
Добре. Абът равини.
'Tis in these ravines. The beast is near. I sense it.
Един ден може да ги пробвам. Но наистина за толкова много книги, че няма никакъв шанс да наваксам с всичко или да следя всичко, което излиза.
Among the boulders outside it, whitening bones lay strewn. Ake dismounted and drew his blade.
By the god's grace, we've found the beast's lair,
he said, lifting his gaze to the heavens.
We need them but to extend their favor as we battle the filth.
Meyve cast a critical eye at her shield, wood clad in leather and thin plate. Enough to stop a sword, certainly, but would it protect her from a beast's raging blow? Noticing her hesitation, Reynard approached the queen and said,
Your Grace, none will utter a disparaging word should you step back.
But they will think them,
replied Meyve.
And that's bad enough. The war has begun. I can't appear weak to my fighting men.
Without awaiting an answer, Meyve strode into the cave. The rest of the company followed, equally full of fear and faith in their queen and commander. Moments later, a great and powerful roar filled the cavern.
Eliminate the manticore. Truly terrifying monsters. Мантикорите били доказани за това, че боговете не са merciful and benevolent. Така. Ще е битка тук. Damage by this unit's power whenever an ally takes damage. Тоест, мантикорите ни бие, играем ик. Това е one shot. Това ще е полезно. Гледам сериала. По-голям шанс има да прочета книгата един ден, аз отколкото да гледам сериал. Така, сега тук всяка част правеше нещо различно. Destroy the leftmost enemy. Damage all units on the melee. Fortress and turn star damage all enemies on the range. Turn transcend move for random enemy from the melee roll to the range. Damage self by 6. Значи трябва да убиваме крайниците и така ще правим демидж. Okay. That was amusing.
Can't take it anymore.
again and again and again.
Which enemy to another enemies with the same power by 4. Тук няма... Няма такова повече loyalty, така че ще изчакам с това. Може би... Там по-хубаво да ще изчакам. Айде! Вземи си!
Its tail flows with deadly venom!
Deadly venom! 6 книги. 6 книги са чак толкова много.
I'm coming, I'm coming.
I'm coming, I'm coming.
Give me a time.
Ох, леле. Що там бе?
Abolish to your command.
Keep that vile poison to yourself!
To yourself.
I'm a one.
More so. О, доста ми помага между другото, като ги подхвърлят тия юнити. Беше хубаво да изиграе и то, той просто се бусне, така че... Чак, толкова фатално не го изиграе.
Prepare to fight, if you've any honor. We
Easy.
must thank the gods for
Easy
this
game.
victory both great and just.
With Ache at their side, the Lyrians fell. Later, it was said, the beast's dying wail, multiplied and strengthened as it passed through the caverns, could be heard as far as Spala.
Your Grace, many monarchs have I met in my time, yet none proved as virile in battle as did your Majesty.
Virile? I dislike the term. Seems not to suit a woman. I prefer valiant. Yet grateful I am for the compliment. Now pray reveal, have you made your decision? Will you swear to serve me? Are you prepared to take an oath?
I am not, Your Grace. I can serve only the gods. Yet, I do believe them to be on your side as one unjustly and treacherously attacked. Thus I see nothing wrong in assisting you.
Then I am content and welcome you in my ranks, Sir Ache of Denel.
The knight-errant bowed low from the waist. So low, in fact, the gambeson neath his mail creaked. Meyve could only hope he would battle Nilfgaardians as boldly as he faced beasts.
Доста е полезен, между другото. А ето този трофей е още по-полезен. Така... Да видим дали Ейк е автоматично в дека или трябва да го добавя. Упс, окей, сега. restore all enemy units to their base power. Сложи ми един ейк. Text damage strengthens our bow. Damage. Малко сме.
I see you found the mess tent. How's the ale? Not too warm, I hope.
'Tis not for me to say, Your Majesty. My tankard holds but milk of the goat.
Milk?
It does.
A witless prank. I shall tell the quartermaster at once what I think of such...
Unnecessary, Your Grace. I called for the beverage.
Is that so? Well then.
The good book states clearly, the shadow of spirits obscureth light most true, and leadeth thee from the path of virtue.
Right. I suppose there's something to it.
Milk drinker. Milk drinker.
My soul sings to hear your affirmation, Your Grace. If ever you wish to discuss the good book and the wisdoms contained therein, hesitate not to find me.
Certainly, I shall remember that.
Има битката при Яруга там на моста, в която срещат Мийв и Гералт се срещат, нали? Той повежда контратаката на Яруга беше, нали? Както и да е. Там на моста на реката, но е някъде напред, мисля, в последния чаптър на играта. Така че... Това може би единствения вечер, който решиш в играта.
Your crusade against monsters. Have you been at it long?
Come next Bellatane, it will be 20 years, Your Grace. Though there was one extended interruption.
For what reason? Had you grown weary of the knight-errant's life?
Not in the least. Never shall I cease in my quest to cleanse the world of filth and abominations. But at times evil puts up rather a good fight. I ventured forth to slay a dragon once, a gold one, as it were, calling itself Villa Tretormeft, or the like. Its very name, as is evident, a vile toil for the tongue and wafting wickedness. A great many mercenaries embarked on the hunt, lured by the promise of coin in heaps. The Crinford Reavers, Yarpen Zigrin, and a band of dwarves, even cursed the word a witcher, one Yennefer, most lecherous sorceress, at his side.
Ние да цъкаме вещера? Не. Няма... Първо няма смисъл, защото никога няма да го завършим на стрим. Второ, така отделни епизоди... За какво? Реално вещера не е чак толкова интересен за гледане. Това е прекалено много шматкане, за да е интересно за гледане. Това е историята, която аз споменах, когато го срещнаха. За...
That name I've heard.
Стария дракон.
But at the deciding moment, when the beast challenged all, I alone emerged to face it. Alas, though shame burns me to admit it, I returned from the battle upon my shield, figuratively, literally. I returned in pieces. For 2 years I lay in the temple of Melitele in Alanda. Mother Neneke, God's protector, nursing me back to full health. And only when I could once more grip my sword did I return to the path I'd chosen.
Не, причуват се.
And the dragon? What was its fate?
Some claim it flew off to Zerrikania, though it very well might yet lurk here, awaiting the opportune moment to terrorize the folk of the north again.
Farewell, Ake.
Йенифер, да. Разправяше за срещата си с трите врани, нали? Йенифер и Гералт тогава са заедно. Когато отиват да ловят дракона.
A whole village! Just one big grave now!
Да, ясно. Гудмунд's Camp.
One of them golden sons belongs on the side of my own ship!
Когато крадеш от пиратите. Camp rules. No pissing in the fire. No shitting next to the tents. You break the rules, I break your legs. Easy, смисъл. Така спиш правила. Кратко и ясно. You break the rules, I break your legs. И трябва да знаеш точно какви са последствията. The hell? Your Majesty. A brawl at the tavern. Of course they did. Изяде се котката. Ах. Айде, си знаят. Се бият те в таверната. Тази история са разделени, след нея се събират пак и в следващото тя пак го зарязва. Да, точно така. В тази история са разделени, събират се докато ловят дракона, се разделят. Абе, любовната драма е пълна. Вместо да се седи при 30 да му е хубаво, той хубаво да се разправя с тази проклетия, дет не знае какво иска.
We welcome you home, Your Majesty.
But, thank you, I guess. Lyria City outskirts.
Home at last, Your Grace.
Mm-hmm. We shall not enjoy it long, I fear. Soon we must face the black-clads in the field.
Yet a moment's peace we will have.
Тук се има
After that
някакъв
drubbing you
твист,
gave them at Dravigrad, they'll wish to rethink their strategy.
който аз знам какъв е, защото тази част от играта вече съм е минал, но за вас ще е нещо ново и гледката е яка. Така, това е края на първи чаптър. Мили сме го за 6 часа и сме с 12 квеста, 8 пъзела, 4 битки и съм намерил 5 от 10 съндъка. Къде с другите 5? Ще ги търсите вие като играете.
Mийв had ridden out of Lyria in early spring, her retinue modest, as none larger was needed for the brief summit of sovereigns. She returned now to her capital, at the head of an army that dragged behind it bandits and Nilfgaardian prisoners in chains. The whole city came out to greet her. Its traders, craftsfolk, priests. Also, her eldest son and heir, Prince Willem. A boy who, it seemed, might never be prepared to rule. Meyv and Willem rode side by side past the cheering throngs, their faces frozen in regal smiles. It was not until they reached the castle stables that they found a corner in which to speak freely, candidly.
Трис, да, тя помагаше на Филипа, за което беше тъжно, но въпреки всичко е по... Да, знам. Всъщност. Това за мен е по-свясната от двете.
Welcome home, Mother.
Mother.
Content I am to see you, to be sure.
And I'm happy to see you. Though I dare say I'd have been much happier to witness you leading an army towards Dravigrad. Willem, I trusted you. Left the realm in your care.
When in time of need, get the robbers, thieves and beggars. Always saves the kingdom. Значи...
Indeed. And I, in turn, did my utmost to choose the best course for...
Няма да кажа, че виждаш в бъдещето, Марина, но...
Willem, don't be so damned courtly. There's no one else here. My son, Nilfgaard has invaded our home. We're at war. When rulers don't strive and don't choose, when rulers grab their swords and shields and ride out to defend their subjects.
You didn't let me finish.
But 'tis not the time to waste even one word, my son.
Това е сина на Мийв, да. Willem.
I need to prepare. I'll see you at the Council of Peers.
And indeed she did, when the peers convened in the throne room. Surrounded by animal hides and Zericanian tapestries, the lords stood in tense silence, awaiting the queen. When her figure filled the doorway, they fawningly prostrated themselves.
We've myriad matters to resolve, so I trust you're well rested. Whatever the case, I've no doubt we shall meet the dawn afore we're done. Firstly, we must ask assistance. Pen a letter to King Demavend. Scribe, take this down. Dear... What? Uncle? Cousin? Blast. Again. I, Meyve, by the god's grace, sovereign of Rivia and...
Your Grace. Mother. The peers and I, we've come to propose another solution.
Няма такива неща, бе, вижу какъв е буклук, как ще го оставим да довърши? Не мога такива неща.
Yes, out with it.
We wish to acknowledge Nilfgaard's authority, pledge fealty to the Emperor.
I beg your pardon.
А така...
The black-clad hordes outnumber our forces manyfold, and they're far better equipped. We stand not the slightest chance against them in open...
You will not lecture me about Nilfgaard's army, my son. All you know of them you garnered from coloured renderings, whereas I faced them at Dravigrad. I faced them and crushed them.
But your grace, the losses. For this fleeting victory in which you delight, how many of your subjects had to perish? Bend a knee afore the Emperor, and you shall spare thousands.
То не е баща му, то е някакъв адвайзър на кралицата. Освен това, каквото и да направиш, ще те предаде.
Nay, never! Understood, Caldwell? Not ever!
I'd hoped to persuade you, but it seems I've failed. Nonetheless, the die's been cast. We've signed the accord with Nilfgaard. Our noble lords stand with me.
The blood left Meyve's face. She had realized her son, who had ever professed to detest politics and shirked his duties as crown prince, had just stabbed her in the back, as had her entire court.
What is this? Treason to my eyes! The gallows is what awaits you!
Willem rules Lyria now, and should you not acquiesce and approve the accord, I fear only you, milady, shall have the pleasure to meet the hangman.
Don't get ahead of yourself, Caldwell. My mother will not be harmed. Not one hair on her head. Understood? Confine the queen to the tower.
You err deeply, my son.
I mean...
The queen was confined to a cell. Gilded armor she had traded for a simple robe. A courtly retinue for a swarm of rats. She was the very picture of misery. At the window of her cell, gripping the bars, Meyve stood powerless, her anger so great she wept and wailed. Her Lyria was free no more.
Have I come at a bad time?
Demons take you, Caldwell. You've long been at this scheme, haven't you? You left the strays of Sparla to roam the realm, to forage, so that I would have to look to them. And thus gained your cohorts the time they needed to complete Lyria's sail to Nilfgaard.
You've seen through it all, that's clear. After the fact, of course. But still, I'm not nearly the poor strategist you thought me.
Willem, you turned him. How?
The boy's not fit to wear the crown. Hasn't sufficient wit nor valor. I know this. You know this. Just, he knows it not. Willem fancied himself a statesman, wished terribly to prove he was one. I made it possible. I've been amply rewarded, I have. Palatine since just yesterday, in fact.
You'll have neither my blessing nor congratulations. Sorry to disappoint you.
I seek neither. I've come for another reason. To bid you adieu. Willem does not seek your death. Does not even fathom it, as you well know. Moreover, his resolve will wilt in time, and he'll wish to free you. So, come the morn, when the young king rides out to pledge fealty afore General Epdahi, you shall use your bed linens to hang yourself.
I see. You wish to see me bow afore you, lie prostrate, beg you for mercy.
А така, каже му Васко Букук.
Plough yourself with a pike, Caldwell. And you needn't send your thugs. I'll not falter nor hesitate. I'll take my own life.
Adieu, your grace, and use your last evening wisely.
Meyve felt a rush of despair, yet bit her lip to mute any weeping. No, she would not give Caldwell the satisfaction. Morning arrived with the sound of footsteps in the corridor. Meyve rose from her cot and stood in the center of her cell. She was prepared for anything. Well, nearly anything.
The Duke of Dogs.
The Duke of Dogs.
Titles seem senseless under the circumstances, don't you think? Let's forgo them. I'm Gascon.
Has Caldwell sent you? To kill me?
No and a no. Actually, you're free. How shall I put this? That cad, Count Caldwell, used yours truly and the strays as bait in a scheme aimed at kicking your shapely backside off your throne.
Your shapely backside.
Now, I'm hardly vindictive. First to forgive, in fact. Take your threat to send me to the gallows. Forgotten already. Yet being played for a fool, I cannot abide. So when the strays freed me, I knew what I'd do to spite the Count afore I disappeared. I'd free you. That's to say, on one condition. You've got to request it of me, my lady. Courteously.
Това ще стане, ако избера... Това ще стане, ако избера I'd sooner die.
Never. I'd rather die in this cell.
Steadfast as ever. Even with death hanging over you. Colour me impressed, I must admit. Ah, call it my loss then. You are free.
He drives hard bargain.
And grateful. Now please let me pass.
But have a
Let's
kind
get to
heart.
the city jail at once.
Would you look at this one? Free her from one prison, she flies off to the next.
They hold Reynard there. And if I've any ally left, anyone who's not betrayed me, it's him. I must get him out.
Hold, my lady. Unarmed, alone.
Have I any other option?
In a sense. See, they locked a few strays in the city pits too. Got a common cause, I'd say. Care to join forces?
The Queen took Gascon up on his offer. Then she, Gascon, and the strays snuck through the city to its dungeon. Reynard had not wavered for a moment in his devotion to the Queen. Never the slouch, he had also not lost any time.
I've inquired among the other arrested soldiers. Many are prepared to fight. even die at your side, your grace.
Seems they may yet get their chance. But now we must flee. All of us.
Yet in leaving the jail, the company ran into trouble. When Caldwell's cutthroats had failed to find Meyve in her cell waiting for her secret execution, they had informed the Count. He, in turn, dispatched patrols into the streets. The Queen and her cohorts ran into one such unit.
Blast. We shan't outrun them. To arms!
He is very much in for her. Една от репликите му, като го играеш на борда на Рейнард е... Какво беше? Her Majesty, she is magnificent. Или нещо такова. Outstanding. Мисля, че magnificent беше. Find an escape route. Once escape route is found, gain more points than your opponent within 3 turns. Okay. Sure.
Gascon? Bloody hell, where'd he get to?
Your grace, we must make haste. Caldwell's roused the whole city by now.
Choose the dark alley to escape down. Who's this unit by 5? Who's the ally by 4? You get down on entry level 1. Тази. After a different ally spell from hand to move together, move next to it. Every turn to start a draw card and no hope.
There's a time to reap, a time to sow.
And a time to die. Cursed traitors.
Още един рейдър.
Aye.
Sod it. Sod it all.
Sod it. Sod it.
Should've listened to the old lady.
Ето го е.
Didn't think I'd leave you just like that, did you?
Honestly?
I did.
I did.
Скоро е доста amusing. Set her on fire. Играл съм по-точно.
Like this.
Sure. Come on.
Catch!
Cursed traitors.
Your grace, what guarantee do we have that they won't stab us in the back?
Нямаме Рейнард, ама или това или в затвора. Ето изхода. Имам 3 хода да имам повече точки от тях. Окей. Той клир на всички ефекти буклука. Какво е та?
The chase is on!
Again and again and again.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa.
this harvest, we'll be reaping black-clad heads.
Nope. Screw you, dude.
As you wish, my lady.
My spirit's willing and how, but these damn boots are killing me.
Oh, yes. Yes, за малко. Оля се доста между.
I thank you, Gascon. You and your men, for your aid.
'Tis nought, my lady. Strays never say no to a proper brawl.
No brawl this was. Sun rising against Mother. Lyrian striking at Lyrian. I fear a blood war's begun.
Come now. Seems to me the war's ended. Your realm's lost to Nilfgaard. You've no army to speak of.
Then I shall assemble a new one. And with it have Caldwell hanged. And drive Nilfgaard back across the Yaruga.
You're mad. How will you find the men? Riding from hamlet to hamlet, speaking from atop a crate?
No. I shall find them in Edern. I've a favour to call in with King Demavend. And I'll sway volunteers to my cause on the way.
Well, you've your first willing warriors already.
How so?
We've nothing left in Lyria. Our hideouts are compromised. Caldwell's sure to set a price on our heads, and Nilfgaardians roam the land in numbers. Besides, I'll be right tickled to see proud Queen Meyve fighting elbow to elbow with a bandit she'd wish to hang just a half day afore.
Well, it is said my foe's foe is my friend, and I'd be a fool to turn down assistance now, no matter who offers. So be it.
Very high-minded of you, my lady. So, shall we shake on't? Nay? Well then, the high road beckons. Though first we must escape the city
Марина,
with
какви
our
любовни
lives.
триъгълници да
Follow me.
черташ. Време, Васко, ама ще мине доста време. Време, но ще мине доста време, докато се случи.
Lyria was hers no more. Meyve now had to flee her capital and realm as quickly as she could. Wont to travel the city streets in a gilded carriage, the Queen now saw them from a slightly different vantage point.
Is this the only way? Are you quite certain? The Queen
is a common fugitive now, so she'd do better to pinch her nose and whinge not at all.
At long last, Meyve reached the gate. Yet this she found shut tight, locked and guarded.
Лагна.
Gods be damned.
Easy, your grace. Nothing we can't solve with a quiver full of quarrels.
Those are our men.
They were, Reynard, were.
Gascon's raiders were poised to loose their boats, but were thwarted when the Queen stepped out in front of them.
What's she?
Hashtag семейни драми. Точно.
I've orders to arrest your grace.
Place me in irons then.
Please understand, I haven't a choice.
Fear not. You'll be rewarded by Caldwell in Nilfgaardian Florence.
The captain's head dropped. His cheeks burned crimson.
Go, your grace. Flee now, but only to return.
Remember this, Gascon. I'm no fugitive. I'm a queen, robbed of her rightful crown. And though I may need to venture to the world's end before I return, I shall have it back.
She is quite admirable.
Having fled Lyria, Queen Meyve ventured into Edir, her old friend Reynard and new ally Gascon at her side. The war had bitten into this land too. Still, Meyve hoped to sway King Demavend to her cause, and with his aid, to oust the traitors, retake her throne, and drive the Nilfgaardian invader from her realm. Yet to start, she was forced to fight, Scoia'tael no less. Emerging from a wood, Meyve's retinue encountered a unit of elven rebels just moments from hanging a handful of prisoners. Among the latter, the queen spotted a woman, a proud warrior with a striking, thick black braid.
The lass, I believe I know.
Well, unless we rush to her rescue, it'll soon be you knew her.
Well said. Lyrians!
Сега не сме кралица. Винаги ще сме кралица, Васко. Не видя ли Мийв какво каза? Тя не е фюджитив, тя е кралица. Старата черна Райла, която се споменава мимоходом в последната книга за Вещера. It's power equal to the unit on its left. Това не е лошо. Тия пичове са доста интересни. Една дати условия. Така. Сега ще местим карти на...
Hang the butcher! Below!
She can't breathe, Your Grace. We must rush to her aid.
Ръшваме. After 5 turns on turn start, destroy Black Ryle. Много хубаво.
Bigger they are, easier they are to target.
Тези три карти.
Thing about slings, they hide well.
Oh, snap. Oh well. Anyway.
Catch 'em all!
Whoa, тя колко damage прави.
I shall not fail! The elves, scatter them. They block our path.
Не мога да ги местиш на вас. Ей, обаче загубихме се, нали?
We're too late.
Йоп. Това беше лейм. Доста лейм го изиграх.
Archer! Velour!
Nay, Duan Vacamus.
She can't breathe, Your Grace. We must rush to her aid.
Free the warrior!
Are you mad? Don't shake that!
You mad? Don't shake that. Сега беше доста по-лесно, отколкото го направих първия път.
The Scoia'tael warriors shocked the queen with their speed, their cunning, and their cruelty. Yet in the end, the Lyrians prevailed. When the last elf hit the ground, the queen had her men untie those they'd sought to hang.
1,000 thanks, Your Grace. Heard many tales of your valor. Pleased to see there weren't just flattery and propaganda.
Black Rayla. Haggard, we saw you there. You command King Demoven's special forces.
That's right. Though not many remain to command. So I see. How did it come to this? My liege sent me to wipe out a Scoia'tael band, led by a rat called Eldane. Followed the vermin's tracks for several days. Straight into his trap, turned out.
Hunting elves in the woods. Truly inspired, I must say.
Had no choice. Doing nothing would have brought us surer, swifter doom. The Black Clad have invaded Edirn. Thanks to elven aid. They snap our supply lines, lurk like dogs, prey on vulnerable units and scouts.
You mean to say Nilfgaard's broken your defences?
Aye. Though their march will soon halt, believe me. To advance, they'll have to take Rosberg, a stronghold that's yet to fall once. They'll break against its walls like waves upon the rocks.
Точно. Gascon, the king of Sass.
Rayla, the black swarm I have beheld. Endless lines of infantrymen, countless riders, war machines capable of crushing the hardest stone to gravel. Your meaning, my lady, that we must prepare for the worst. I'll convey your grace's words to the king at the first occasion. I'd rather hope to convey them myself. I have come to Edirn seeking aid. I wish to ask Demavend for support. The king is in Rosberg, overseeing siege preparations. I'm heading that way too to report on our skirmish with the Scoia'tael. I might serve as your guide. These lands I know better than any. Excellent. Guide on.
Whoa. стек целия ще го направим наново. Че нещо не мога да го докарам към провизии и бройки. Така, имаме Гаскон, който се буства, когато се местят юнити. Така че искаме от тия пичове. Тия са доста яки, защото палят неща. Ти не са лоши, защото правят демидж всеки ход. For restraint, cannot target bosses. Добре. Ти не са лоши, могат да ти върнат нещо производно от бъдещето. Те пичове също са прилични. И яко селен. Сме един юнит отгоре. Три ми е най-ефтиния така. Всякакво един с 7. То е 8 естествено. Не вземаш много куче. Изи. Така. Ще говорим с хората. Какво правите винаги, когато влезете в нова зона? Връщате се назад.
Gods. The entire country up in flames.
Ebdahi warned punishment awaited Edern, that he would show the land no mercy.
What in God's names did you do to him, Rayla?
Nilfgaard offered us an alliance against the rest of the north, but Demoven declined in his clipped soldier's speech. They say Ebdahi flew into a rage and swore he'd reduce Edern to rubble.
Kurczę. Некери? Wolves. Standard battle. Charge. Samurai charges. Like it. Consume the top unit in your graveyard and spawn a base copy of it.
Catch!
още 2 вълка да обича.
I smell a leak.
Ever have a storm knock out one of your teeth?
Oh well.
I've hit the white of an eye from half a league away.
La, 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 la. И пак стана седна напред. Гъвта. Ще ми игра как.
Bigger they are, easier they are to target.
Само искам да както. Аз да изпълня Мийв. Още първи път. Нищо да е. Имаме гаскон, който е 20.
I'll fight to my last breath.
We got a job to do.
I fear not, but faith guides me.
О, трябва да изчакам. О, well. Set that.
What do you want of me?
You mad? Don't shake that!
You mad? Don't shake that.
You must sweat like a swine in that jacket.
This could hurt.
Catch 'em all!
Nothing personal, I assure you.
Amusing, защото всеки път, когато демеджът се буства. Втория рунд нямаше никакъв шанс. Точно. Father, the black clouds are advancing from the south. Your Keller. Си напратил писмо на бащата да си ходи, ама той решил, че не иска да си ходи и го изяли на керите.
Any of you seen Nimoy? Was bound here from Iconfur. Supposed to have arrived 3 days past.
The Lyrians arrived at an ancient, half-desiccated beach. Its trunk sat atop a tangle of thick roots, and scraps of paper covered with tiny scribblings fluttered over it from top to bottom. Travellers crowded all around. Barefoot refugees, bony pilgrims, peddlers with armoured escorts, and shifty-eyed men with the haggard look of deserters.
The Wayfarer's Beach,
Rayla said.
Travellers of all sorts swap tales here. Perhaps we can glean something about our enemy's movements.
Or paint the enemy a clear picture of our own.
Gascon interrupted.
Nilfgaardian spies no doubt flock to this tree like flies to particularly pungent dung.
Disregarding matters of status and station, Meyve personally asked the travellers for the latest news. They soon transformed from terse to talkative, sharing tales of an elven bandit named Eldane, a Nilfgaardian general called Frighev who murdered an entire village, and a sorceress who cure any ailment for a few coppers. Then a blood-curdling scream put a halt to the gossip. Meyve's soldiers had begun to quarrel with the merchant's guards, one of whom now lay dead on the ground, his throat a gaping wound.
The filth besmirched your honour, your grace. Said you took tail and ran from Lyria like a belted bitch.
The travellers were unmoved by this explanation. They demanded the Lyrian soldier be punished according to Eden's laws, by chopping off the hand that dealt the fatal blow.
Oops. Oops.
Meyve walked up to the accused soldier who awaited her verdict with tears in his eyes. She put her hand on his shoulder.
This man defended my honor.
The Queen proclaimed loudly.
For this he deserves not punishment, but praise. And you remember, Whoever defames my name shall soon regret it.
Meiv's unit marched off to the sound of jeers and curses. But her soldiers held their heads high, proud of their queen.
The dogs. Merchants has so many ways to cross his wares. Морал ми е хай, няма какво да се моля тук.
Ravens are always trailing armies. Ravens and beasts.
Ще се обърках. Не, само пътя.
Soon after entering Edirn, Meyv ordered a halt. She wished to sit with Black Rayla and plan their onward march, for Rayla knew every path in the realm, including ones not drawn on any map. They were hard at work when shouts rang out among the tents.
One final time I shall say it. As your senior officer, I order you to depart the training grounds,
Or what, pray tell? You'll have me drop and give you 50?
What is the meaning of this?
Your Grace, I had thought to use this interval to drill the recruits, teach them
to walk.
To maneuver, Gascon. A world of difference. In perfect harmony must soldiers traverse the field of battle. Otherwise, they could break formation. The enemy would penetrate our lines, and our army could be slaughtered.
And therein lies the rub, dear Reynard. Army. This is no army, but a band of partisans. If we do not adapt to the rules of desperation, if we adhere instead to the Academy Codex, we shall lose. Laying traps, wiping tracks, that's what we should teach the lads. Not marching to the beat.
All my eye. A fighting force must have discipline. Otherwise, tactics and planning are impossible. A soldier must obey orders.
A point on which we all agree. And since they are mine to give, I order you both to calm yourselves at once, and never air your squabbles in front of the men again. Our resources are limited. We cannot do everything at once. Prepare your proposed plans for training the recruits, and I shall decide which we shall follow. Clear? Then get to work.
Although, I agree with Gascon. Ей, то станало време да приключваме. Намерим някакво интересно място. Ще свършим с клифхенгър. Е, там е съндък от друга страна. Как по дяволите? Е, тук може би. О, Къде бро? С микрофона малко. Така. Inhabitants of Brunfell are hereby ordered to vacate the village by nightfall. Hail Kerzer.
Did our oats not suit the Emperor? However did our oats and other plantings harm him?
Your Grace,
Meyv heard Reynard call out from behind her.
A scout's returned. Claims to bear an urgent message.
The Queen halted her horse and waited for the soldier to reach her. He abandoned all formalities and jumped straight to the point.
Milady, a black-clad caravan, armed to the hilt, rides this way. To believe the rumours, they're hauling a load of war loot back south.
Reynard gave the soldier new orders, then turned to Meyv.
Sounds like a prime opportunity to replenish our coffers.
Indeed. An opportunity we cannot ignore.
The Queen said.
Your unit will block their path. Gascon and his men will hide in the woods and strike their flanks, while I shut the trap, attacking from behind.
Their plan established, Meyve gave the signal to move out. A brief moment later, the fight began.
След тази битка и приключваме за тази вечер, че то стана време. 11 часа почти. Окей. Sure. I need you.
We must drive them into the ambush. Follow me!
If you have Manticore trophy on battlefield. Only this unit takes damage, move it to one position to the right. Death Wish. Meyve loses the battle. Expose the trap. Gascon's ambush. Trigger an ambush when you move a caravan next to this card. Okay.
I smell a leak.
Wise choice.
We're close, Your Grace.
Order!
Sure took your time. Thought you'd forgotten about me. Now!
We got a job to do.
Тия два чумат. Ги удари файер. Nice.
Life is mine now.
А ето толкова се замисля къде се изиграе повече. Това цялата игра от него.
Shh, cog it.
Това реално много трудно
Off
може
to
да
the
се
front yet again.
всъщност. Само това не разбрах как се бусна толкова много. Той е стрес. Той е апгрейднат инфилтрейтър. Ясно. Окей.
A knight should help. Our codex commands it.
Чакам повече.
Outside here.
We'll catch 'em all!
Ach, Scheiß! In Tank!
The caravan is ours, milady.
Easy.
Their plan ended in success, the Nilfgaardians crushed. As soon as the dust had settled, Meyv tore the canvas off the nearby wagons to see what precious loot they had so carefully guarded. She expected to find gold, jewels, or exquisite silks. Meyv ordered the prisoners freed and discovered they were Edirnian peasants on their way to dig canal.
What homes, milady?
Asked one of the peasants, holding back tears.
Took our land, they did. Nothing we have now. Not a rag to wear, not a crumb to eat. Leave us, we die. Soldiers don't do us in, monsters will. Us human hunger and cold don't get us first.
The queen was about to answer when she heard Gascon, standing behind her, whisper,
Before you make any rash promises, please, some maths. Dozens of hungry mouths to feed, and weak bodies to defend, twice as many tired legs to wait for, while war rages all around. You do realize you cannot save everyone.
The harsh voice of reason.
As you see, my numbers are few.
the queen began. Hearing her tone, the former slaves knew all hope was lost. Seeing the despair on their faces, Meiv's voice wavered for a moment.
And our coffers are bare. I am sorry. We cannot help you.
Meiv left food for the peasants freed from the Nilfgaardian wagons. She estimated it would last them 3 or 4 days. After that, they would be a problem that was not the Queen of Lyria's to solve.
Влиза сме тук до крепостта, дето Блек Райла твърдеше, че няма превземане. Ще да стигнем до нея, трябва да минем през град, който го държат черните. И това ще остане за следващия път. И затова, ако компютърът ми се действа, разбира се. О, не. Та, идеята беше, че това е край на стрима. Благодаря на всички, които гледаха. Надявам се да ви е било интересно. Съжалявам, ако ви е било скучно. Ако ви е било скучно, кажете кой ви е било скучно, за да направим подобрение. И така. Чао и до следващия път.